All right. This is a response to Mr. Kurt on his video on leadership. Um, Kurt, you seem to be, saying that, well, the best leaders are not politicians, and so we ought to be sort of selecting the best and the brightest people from all these different fields, and then bringing them into politics and having them govern. Um, yeah, in saying that politicians, that anyone who really wants to be a leader, political leader, is an asshole because you shouldn't want power because it's tough. Um, Frankly, I think I mean this. I don't want to be insulting, but I think you were stuck in dualistic consciousness here. I think you're being very black and white, my way or the highway kind of thing, which is exactly the kind of thinking that does not work well I mean, it's there's too much of it in politics, but that's not what makes a good politician. Um, I would agree first and foremost that our system is broken. Absolutely. I mean, there's too much corporate money, and there are power hungry leaders. I mean, I think another thing that's tough about our system is simply that uh, a lot of the people electing politicians are frankly at a lower stage of consciousness than I'd prefer. But they have to have their say as well. So we get people who deny global warming and say uh, say things that are like vaguely racist and things that really don't belong in politics. But it in any sort of democratic system, those people have to be represented. So, um, I think the what I find troubling about uh, your idea here is I think you don't seem to take account of how governing is a specific skill, and we say leadership as if it's one thing. I think there's many different kinds of leadership. I mean, I think Martin Luther King was one kind of leader, and certainly the kind of leader we respect more. Um, but I don't necessarily think that that kind of leadership is the kind of leadership that works in politics. I think politics is the art of compromise, and whereas Martin Luther King wouldn't without Lyndon Johnson he would not have that legacy. You had to have a guy like Johnson who was able to negotiate with members of Congress, make backroom deals, things that um, act in a way that maybe doesn't seem as exemplary as someone like King. Um, and but he's able to get things done, and that's what a great politician has to do. They have to do the dirty work of compromise and negotiation, and politics. They say that politics is the art of compromise, um, and you can't just be an idealist in politics. You have to be a pragmatist, um, and so I think that the problem, the issue, I think, is letting sort of the idealists who we need. I mean, I would count myself as an idealist in many ways. Letting the idealists get their say, let's have their input into politics. While those who are good at political leadership, at the pragmatism and compromises and negotiations, let them have the chance to hear those voices and be able to work out something that can is sort of amicable to all sides of the argument, or most of the sides. Um, so, and another thing I kind of detected in your video. I'm not sure if it was what you were saying, but you seem to be talking about people who are experts in their field. Like top scientists, should have say on scientific matters. And to a certain extent, I agree with that. But the thing is, in some cases, it's hard to define who's an expert. I mean, Obama chose for his economic team people like Larry Summers and Tim Geithner, who were considered experts in their field. They came highly recommended to him. The problem is that economics itself has been horribly corrupted over the past century or so, and so naturally, they're experts in a field that has become corrupted. Then they themselves will be not as exemplary as you'd like them to be. So I think instead of worrying so much about people who are who are highly respected in their field, let have some forum for people who have new ideas out in place to get their ideas known. So I mean, I think your whole notion about leadership is it confuses different forms of leadership, and we need, and political leadership is one kind of leadership we do need, and there are ways I think we can get better political leadership. The main one would be to get corporate money out of politics. I mean, it's that the corruption of money that is the big issue. I think not only should we forbid corporations from donating to political campaigns, and I think we should end corporate personhood and make sure that corporations can't lobby Congress. That's. I mean, maybe you can have people lobbying Congress on behalf of the business community as a whole, but I think there should be organizations that people create to lobby Congress, including just citizens organizations, and maybe there should be a certain amount of time allotted in Congress, in City Hall, stuff, for those organizations to address their grievances and offer their ideas about how about the way forward. So, and also, I mean, we just need to move to publicly financed campaigns, so that so that politicians don't have to worry about trying to raise all that money. The thing is, you seem to think that the leaders we need would already be known. They shouldn't have to advertise themselves to us. Which, I mean, if I go to a job interview, I have to advertise myself to that person. So I mean, your idea would seem to indicate that only really famous people would be leaders, which I think is both unworkable and highly elitist. So anyway, I hope my reply made sense. I'm gonna rethink. Peace.